So this follow-up strategy actually works. We've also used this to book meetings with almost the entire Fortune 500. By the way, if you want the system that we're covering in this video as a free checklist, grab the link in the description. You can have a PDF of everything we talked about. Follow-up cold email. An email is nothing without the follow-up. And actually, I've seen several cases where a follow-up is sent even 6-7 months later and it works. For instance, when my little brother was trying to get a job at one of the most famous recording studios in the world, Record Plant in Los Angeles, he sent an initial cold email, and we have this all documented in a video. He sent an initial cold email to the founder and nothing happened. Then, 8 months later, sent a quick bump follow-up and was hired within the week. So this follow-up strategy actually works. We've also used this to book meetings with almost the entire Fortune 500. We've generated over $100 million in leads for our clients using cold email. So in this video, I want to break down in as simplest a term as can possibly be expressed, our follow-up sequence. And let me tell you this, it's only 3 emails. You got that main cold email, which we've talked about an unbelievable amount of times on this channel. Then what I'll do is I'll wait 3 days later and I'll send a quick bump. Usually this is an email that replies to the previous message and will say something like, hey, I'm sure you're busy, wanted to make sure this didn't get buried. It's a message that brings it up to the inbox, it's simple, and it forces them to read the first message again. That's key. Send that about 3 days later, but like I was talking about before, you can send this even 6 months, 7 months later. Everyone appreciates a bump. The reason why this works is a lot of times your emails get buried for random reasons. 1, the person might be too busy. 2, it might just have come at the wrong time. Some people, if they get an email at 10 a.m., they're always going to respond. Other people, if they get an email at 10 a.m., will never respond, but if they got the email at 7 p.m., they would respond. So if your initial cold email's at 10, I also make sure to stagger the follow-up times. So 10 a.m. is the initial email, the follow-up's coming at 7 p.m. And they're also coming across different days, right? We wouldn't want to follow up 7 days later because that would put us on the exact same day that we sent the initial email. Let's say the target doesn't check emails on Monday. You send your initial email on Monday, you send your follow-up on Monday, you send your third follow-up on Monday and your fourth follow-up on Monday, they're never going to respond to your email. You send your initial email on Monday, your follow-up on a Wednesday at a different time, your third email on maybe a Sunday, your fourth email on a Thursday. All of a sudden, you've hit them from so many different angles, the chances that they're going to respond to you are so much higher. So that's email 1 in the follow-up sequence, all right? Email 2, which is actually the third email in the follow-up sequence, right? You got cold email 1, you got this bump email. Now, email 3 in the follow-up sequence is either a 2 ideas email, which is more of an advanced strategy, but I'll tell you what this is first, and then I'll tell you the easy strategy. The 2 ideas email is 2 ideas based on your expertise that you know that they're struggling with that you have answers to. Now, the reason why this is an advanced strategy is it's hard to come up with 2 ideas that they haven't heard before. We were doing it for our clients because I've generated millions of dollars of leads, like I'm talking about. I've been director of marketing at a top company. I was director of marketing at a quickly growing startup. And I've been able to use the work that I've put in to get these insights. And that's how we come up with our 2 ideas. You can do the same if you have any experience in the industry. I'm sure if you look at their business, you'll come up with whatever the 2 ideas are. By the way, if you want more in-depth, detailed analysis, you want exact scripts, stuff like that, sign up for the email list. I'll point you exactly in the right direction. I'll show you what to do, where to go. So that's the first type of email. The second type of this email is the big win announcement. And this is something anybody can do. So this is you looking at your case studies and then translating that into a major win for them. So let's say you just worked with a local restaurant to increase their leads by 10%. Or maybe you worked with them a year ago. This is how you'd frame it. Hey Mark, just reaching out because we had another major win. Just wrapped with Marco's Mexican restaurant on 5th Ave in New York. And we were able to boost their customers by 10% using a simple tweak to their online marketing campaigns. I'd love to do the same for you. Let me know if you got a few times to chat this week. Thanks, Alex. And instead of Alex, you put your name. But that's it. It's a major win that you've had, and that major win could be months ago, could be years ago. The important thing is that you're writing about it in a way that makes it seem like it just happened. And other important thing, that win should be directly related to the niche. So for instance, Marco's Mexican restaurant, I would send that to restaurateurs if I'm trying to target restaurants. I would not send that to dentists. I would not send that to a major corporation like Lowe's. To dentists, I would try to send a dental case study or at least a medical case study. And then to Lowe's, I would send at minimum a retailer, if not another Fortune 500 in the retail space, ideally. That's the big thing about case studies too. You wanna make sure that they're extremely relevant to the person that you're sending them to. And finally, the fourth email in the sequence is the one where you move on. You know, the moving on email. Some people call it a breakup email. I call it a moving on email. So this email number 4 in the sequence, is something like, hey, Mark, at this point, I'll assume increasing the number of customers for your restaurant isn't a priority this year. Please feel free to reach out if that changes. Would love to work with you. Thanks, Alex. Very simple, very to the point, and shows them you got other stuff going on. You're not gonna follow up with a 12 email drip. You're not that desperate for the business, even though this is all automated. The psychology here is clear, right? You're coming in, you know exactly what you're doing, and you've worked with people like them in the past. So if you aren't gonna get a response from the client, you're gonna move on. And that's what this email shows. And actually, this fourth email does very well in terms of getting responses from clients. So that's that. This is how to follow up on a cold email. Feel free to implement it. Again, those messages are, you've got that initial cold email, 3 days later, the bump, 4 days after that, the 2 ideas or the big win, and then 4 ideas after that one, you got the breakup email. I'm just gonna call it the breakup email. The moving on email. Why do we feel this need to make up our own terms when the industry terms are just fine? That is my new outlook on life, you know? I wanna come up with new terms, but breakup email works fine. Here's the exact client contract we've used to close over $10 million in sales. You can have this for free, copy paste it, change it however you want. I'm Alex Berman, I've generated over $100 million in leads. Click the link below, you can grab it. Anyway, if you want these as a PDF, feel free to subscribe below and I'll send you everything else we got too. We have a very well thought out email sequence. It's full of value. It's full of insights that you can use to improve your company. So again, download that below. And I look forward to chatting with you further. Subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos like this. We do content 3 times a week, all about sales, marketing, and becoming your best self. All right, I'm Alex Berman. Thanks for watching.